Hello and welcome to today's video. This time we'll be taking a look at some vintage Corgi pickups I've had recently. So first off, it's Corgi Toys 158, which is the Lotus Climax Formula 1 racing car. We'll also be taking a look at gift set number 24, the Corgi constructor set, that's with the Commer vans. And I've also got, I believe it's a 1977 or 1978 Corgi catalogue. So without further ado, sit back, relax, and let's get to it. Okay then, so we'll start off with this one, which is Corgi Toys 158, and yeah, very nice. Picked this one up at the recent Matford Toy Fair, and let's see, it's got a little 7-Eleven there, so I've got a little rubber. Yeah, I was at the Matford Toy Fair, and I'm on the lookout for the Corgi racing cars. There's not that many of them, and they're pretty common. In actual fact, they're not mega money in most cases, so I think I'll be able to get a little run of these together without too much trouble, in all honesty. So yeah, I mean, this, you know, I mean, it's a really great one. It's not perfect, but I'm not too fussed about perfection, but I do try and buy the best sort of possible condition I can. I'm just going to put the rubber against that 7-Eleven there and see if it makes any difference. Yeah, it strikes me, I think that was written in, I don't think that was actually put on there in pencil. I think that was probably a pen mark, and it had already had a little attempt at it, so that's okay. I don't think there's a lot else we can do on the box. There is, just there is, it appears to me, a slight sticker removal mark there, and if this was a glossy box, you'd be able to go in with a bit of polish and clean that up, but with that one, I'm not going to be able to. So I'm just, for the time being, just going to leave that as is. Let's take the model out. The exhaust there come off the back. So there is the car. Yeah, the back spoilers go in there. But I do see it is in need of a bit of a clean. Now, on the whole, it's a nice one. I think it is a nice example. You actually you tilt the driver there to bend the wheels, but this is original, you know, from the original owner. It's never been cleaned at all. It might have been out on display a little bit, possibly on the box, but hard to tell. But what I tend to do, I have an extremely soft toothbrush. Now, this toothbrush is about 20 years old, and for many years I just used it to do like hardback books. Nowadays it's so soft, I use it to get into the little nooks and crannies on diecasts, and it does that extremely well. So don't panic. It's not going to make any marks on the actual paintwork at all, because I know some people have been a bit shocked. So what are you doing? You know, you can't put a toothbrush against it, or any sort of brush. But fear not. It's just a case of getting off like the surface dirt that's on there, that's potentially accumulated over several decades. So I'm going to give it the once over, and I am going to wipe the edges as well with with a duster and a little bit of polish. See, in the actual figure itself, he definitely had quite a bit of dust like on his chest and that. So by using this, it's got right into that. Yeah, Lotus Climax Formula 1. What a time for Grand Prix this was, wasn't it, you know? Now, this bit here came out when I got it out, so which way does it go in? I think it must be that way. I think it probably just goes in like that. There we are, yeah. So there we are, that's the very nice one. Now I'm going to just have a little look at the instructions, and then we're going to give it a tiny clean with my duster. So yeah, I was pleased to find this one, and I definitely wanted one with the original instructions in. Not that they're at all complicated, but you just see by moving the driver left and right, it just angles the wheels. And then a little advert to join the Corgi Model Club. And I've been enjoying going through old copies of TV21 and looking at the original Corgi adverts, which are extensive. Now, what I do just to take off some of the surface there, I use just ordinary furniture polish, and I've got, this is the softest sort of cloth you could ever imagine. And I put a good generous like wedge on there, and I dab it in like so. That's it. And then I use this screwdriver, so it's fully dabbed in, just to get it in and around. I just use that to guide it and give me a little bit more precision around the car itself, or the model itself, because I don't want to put loads on. And this one we have to be very careful, because of course it's got stickers on, and the stickers are paper, so if they were to get wet, potentially they would be damaged, and I don't want to do that. So this is one of those ones where you have to, you know, tread very carefully, but I think it will make a difference. Yeah, not a huge model, of course. Yeah, I think that's probably as good as we're going to get it on that particular one. Oh, that back bit's come off again. I didn't push it in too hard. I was a bit reluctant to do that. It's another little area where dust is going to accumulate in there. So since it's off, I might as well just do this edge as well. So I've got a nice cabinet for my original Corgi, and that is where this one's definitely going to be living. There we are. I just need to be aware of that bit there. So I think that is probably as good as we're going to get it. I won't have the instruction booklet out, you know, it's nothing too special. So I'll slip that back into the box like so. And then what is the best looking side? Because you always get two choices, don't you? You can get the best, with Corgi, you can get the best sized box. So I think he's going to be going in the collection a bit like that. Although, because the box is so thin, it doesn't have a lot of room to sit on top. But he'll be okay like that, I think. Yeah, that'll be okay. Well, look, I'm going to stick that one over there. Now, we've got a huge gift set to do in a minute. Oh, I say huge, there's lots of parts to it. But what I thought we'd do first, we'll have a look through this, which is the Corgi 1978 catalogue. And once again, this was actually from Shepton Mallet Toy Fair. And I picked up a small batch of Corgi, Dinky and some Matchbox catalogues. And they were all just £1 each. So I was really, really over the moon with that. So we'll have a little look through. And yeah, it actually says 78. I wasn't sure if this was 77 or 78, but it's got the Spy Love Me Lotus Esprit and the Stromberg helicopter on the front. And as soon as I saw this one, I thought, oh, I've got. Do you know how much they cost me? There was £1 each, these catalogues. So I think we did really, really well with those. But yeah, so a few TV related ones. We got Kojak's Buick there, the Charlie's Angels van, and the Starsky and Hutch Ford Torino, which is like iconic, isn't it? And then we got that, which I had the Kojak Buick, and I had the Lotus when I was a youngster, and an Aston Martin DB5. Yeah, there's the 3-pack. I did have the helicopter, but I don't remember ever having a 3-pack. In fact, I don't really remember how I had the Bat vehicles at all, in actual fact, whether they were given to me separately. I certainly remember having that as a kid. And this is some of their non-TV and film related models. Well, there's the Saint there, the Saint's Jaguar. That was Return of the Saint, wasn't it, that one? with Ian Ogilvy. It's a good sized catalogue, this one, actually. Oh yeah, the Pinder Circus, Jean Ricard. Never quite the same appeal as Chipperfield's, but whether Chipperfield's had stopped at that point, I don't know. Oh yeah, that one there, 288, that's always the Minnesima, always fascinated me, that little box-like car there. Really, really crazy. And yeah, I had that one as well, the JPS Lotus Formula One. That was the one I think that James Hunt drove. I never saw it in the 2-pack there with the car on the trailer, but I did have it individually. Remember that very, very well. It's one I haven't got back, and I wouldn't mind that. Construction. That's quite cool as well. I love those funky sorts of designs. Matchbox did quite a few like that, and they're some of my favourite Matchbox models. But it's funny, I don't remember any of these at the time except the TV related ones, you know. I don't remember seeing the Tarzan one, actually. So was that, I guess, that was to tie in, well, it says copyright 76. I wonder if that was to tie in with the Tarzan animated series from Filmation, or maybe the TV show, but that was quite a bit earlier than 76, wasn't it? And now these are the Corgi Juniors, which I find far more fun, and you know, I'd be tempted to collect a select amount of these, you know, and the Huskies that went before. In fact, I've got a couple. The only one I've got actually carded is the Kojak Buick, but there's a few others I would like to get these, and they are around. They definitely are around. Yeah, that's the one I've got, Kojak's Buick, but even that comes in like several different formats, you know. Yeah, some good stuff there. A 2-pack again. These were twin packs. These were sold as twin packs. And that one there, a Batman triple pack in Corgi Juniors. I don't remember seeing that one. The Kojak Buick and the helicopter. The New York Police twin pack, that one. Very, very nice indeed. And then these gift sets at the back here. Nice. It's a nice catalogue that for £1, wasn't it? That was very, very nice indeed. Awesome. So that's that. Now the last thing we've got is a gift set. Once again, picked up at the toy fair. I've been on the lookout for one of these for many years, and I'm not joking when I say many years. Probably about 3 years I've been looking for a really, really nice one. So I'll make a little bit of room here. And I'd seen various editions of this one, you know, various examples dotted around the toy fairs, and I almost bought one at the Exeter show for £50, but it had a tear on the front, which seems to be quite common. But I mean, it's just great. So we'll take it off and let's have a proper look at the box here. So I have had a half mind to start picking up the Commer vans because I think they are really good. There's quite a nice variety to them. There's quite a lot of variations as well, some European versions, and some promotional ones. There's quite a bit of scope if you wanted to specialize in these Commer vans. And I remember these on the roads even when I was a kid in the 70s, you know. But this is a nice example. It's got no ripped corners whatsoever, and I don't think the box even requires any work at all. It's about as good as we're going to get it. Yeah, really, really nice that. Now, I was particularly pleased to find it with the instructions, and once again, I've only ever seen a couple of these with instructions. I saw one on a Facebook group recently, and the actual toys themselves were sealed inside the polystyrene. They were still sealed. They had never been played with, which was, I thought, absolutely amazing. But this gives us the instructions, so you can actually basically, we'll have a look in a minute, but you've got the base of the comma vehicles, and you can change the tops, and then you use a little penny, like a little half penny there, use a penny to lock it into place so they're much more rigid. But we'll go through the different sort of combinations. So assembly of the pickup seats there for that one. That's on the back there, and also when we put it in for the milk float edition. So we might need to, we may need to actually refer to that. It says it's got Transolite headlights, needing neither battery nor bulbs, are fitted in one chassis. This is a major breakthrough in the toy field, utilizing principles previously only employed for scientific instruments. I think it just, for best results are obtained with a light source overhead and headlamps in the shadow. So I think the light goes in through the top and it goes down there and comes out the front. So that's the idea. So let us have a look at the actual thing. So as I said, I've seen these, and often you like, if they're really well worn, it seems that the actual Corgi logo itself is usually quite sort of worn. Now these models are not mint, but this is a really difficult one to find mint. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to take all the different components out, because underneath you can see there is dust and dirt in there. So yeah, we got our milkman, and we're going to give all these bits a clean as well. That was the seats that we saw in the back, and this is the milk floats. Then we've got two actual comma vehicles. So I'm going to we're going to give all of these a clean, and the white one there, and then four different tops. The ambulance, a red top there, this yellow one, which is perhaps the most obvious one with signs of wear, and the blue one. And that, as you can see, there's lots of bits of dust in and around there, but we're going to need to be really careful with this, because this polystyrene breaks extremely easily. So first of all, that didn't get out quite as much as I thought it would. So let's see with my trusty toothbrush if I can get into these little corners where I can spot bits of dust. Certainly this seems to be the worst bit, actually, this one here. Well, I think that's about as clean as we're going to get it, which suits me. So we'll pop that to one side as well now, and then we'll clean the different components. So the milkman, there he is. He's obviously not exactly a sight you see today, but back in the day, you know, people got their milk delivered to their doorstep every day by the milkman. I believe milkmen still exist, it's just not that common anymore. But that's that one. That didn't seem that dusty at all. This one, I would imagine it's the sort of thing that would definitely benefit from a good brush here. And you can hear it getting in all the little gaps there, all the little grooves. And then on the seat as well. There we are. Right, then vehicle number one. So a bit gentler on here. Now this one's got like a matte finish to it, as opposed to like a glossy red, which is slightly unusual. I was sort of expecting more glossy finish on this for some reason. Comma, 3/4 ton chassis. So we'll do some wiping down in a minute. We'll just finish off the brushing first of all. It's not a lot, but it's just taking off any sort of surface dirt. But I don't believe that this set has been on display. I think probably it's got a little bit of play wear, you can see that, but nothing too bad at all. I mean, it's not mint, but I think it's like a good 8 out of 10, maybe stretching even a 9, you know. And so, as I said, certainly the best one, apart from one on one of the Facebook groups, which was still sealed, it's the best one I've seen in many years for sale. About 3 years, I think. I've been looking for this one. So I was particularly pleased to get this. There we are. Right. And then the last step is once again to use my duster, which is already a little bit impregnated, but we're going to put a little bit more on. And with this, it's not as fiddly as the sports car, so we can just do this with our hands here. Not that there's any obvious signs of wear, but I don't think it hurts sometimes to take off any sort of fingerprint marks and things like that, you know. I think the white colouring is probably what's going to show up the most fingerprints and damage. Oh, that doesn't seem too bad to me, that. It really doesn't. Be careful of the ambulance sticker on the side. Yeah, that's not too bad at all. Then vehicle-wise, that's okay. Being very, very gentle. Don't want to rub anything off, and I can't see any obvious marks. It's, you know, dirt-wise, it has been looked after. Just a few really, really minor chips, which I guess it has to be expected, you know, with a toy of this age, even though it's only had very, very minor play on it. This one looks to have been the one that's had the most playing. It's got the most sort of chips on it, but that's okay. Don't mind that at all. Very, very nice. So that's that. So let's just try a few little combinations, shall we, and see how we get on. Right, well, we'll try this, the red one first. So this one seems the most obvious to me, because that looks like a mail van, doesn't it? And as I said, you could use a little coin to tighten it up there, like that, and that would tighten it up. So that would seem obvious on that one. Now, if we wanted, we could have, I guess, we could have the seats in like that. Something like those that way around, I think. Yeah, so the seats go in like that. And then, well, I'm thinking it would be like that, but is that right? Oh yeah, that would be right, I suppose. Bit of an odd colour, but you can see the seats will go there. So that would be right. Quite a nifty little innovation. If we have the white one. So I suppose the first obvious modification would be to make it into a ambulance. Now it's interesting that there's a different colour in the whites there. You may not pick it up on film, but that is very, very white, the main body. That is more like a creamy colour. But if we didn't fancy having it like that, we could have it as a, like that, as a milk float. I think so, something like that. And with that on like that, is that how it goes in? It is not. So what does the instructions say on this particular one? Assembly of crates for the milk float. It says to put it in, you put it in first by the look of it. So you put it in like that, and then it will fit in. There we are. Look at that. Look at that. That's lovely. So with your milkman doing his rounds. Oh, very cool. I think that's probably the two sort of classics, but I'm gonna display this one probably just in the box in situ with all the bits in there, you know. But yeah, very, very cool. I really, really like that. It's a good set, and it definitely lived up to expectations. So there you go. Hope you enjoyed looking through my recent vintage Corgi pickups. Certainly some nice items there. Now I do have a small dedicated cabinet for my vintage Corgis, and it's slowly filling up at a really nice pace. So I thought you'd appreciate a little look of my small collection such as it is right now. Thanks very much for watching today. If you've enjoyed the video, do please give it the thumbs up. Do make sure you're subscribed for regular vintage Corgi and other diecast content, and I'll look forward to seeing you again very soon. Bye.